5. Okay to start? Sure. We'll go ahead and call the Ellis County Commission meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Donna, please call the roll.
Commissioner Butch Schleier,
Present.
Commissioner Chair Dean Hazelhorst,
Present.
Commissioner Dustin Mott.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Any changes to the order of business this evening, commissioners and or Phil? I'll ask for, has everybody a chance to review August 19th minutes? It's the only set we had. Any additions, corrections? I know Phil had one that he'll be sending Donna tomorrow. Other than that, stand approved as presented.
Yep.
Need a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through G.
I move that we approve consent agenda items A through G as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Donna, we have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Issues from persons not on the order of business this evening. Do we have anyone? Introduction of new employees, maybe? Bill? No? No? I didn't recognize one of the gentlemen in the back. I thought maybe he was a new employee. I guess not. Huh? Oh. He's not a new employee? Oh, okay. Cool. Monthly financial report. Everybody a chance to review?
Reviewed it. No problems, no questions.
Everything
Dustin?
seemed fine, yeah.
All right, right-of-way vacation, County Administrator Philip Smith-Haynes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this item is related to the potential development of the travel plaza out on the northwest side of Hayes, there by exit 157 off of the interstate. There's a little mixing strip there that KDOT has used for a number of years, and when they were doing the research into land ownership, turns out the city of Hayes actually owned that little triangle of land. And so the city has been in conversations with the developers about that. Then when the developer's surveyor started looking into the land records out there, turns out that in 1926, Ellis County acquired the right-of-way for Fairground Road, and then when the interstate went in, we didn't do anything with that. So we still have an underlying right-of-way between that mixing strip and the parcel there to the north. So developers have asked if you would go ahead and vacate that. Public Works Director and I talked about it. They have no plans to ever use that. It would be the classic road to nowhere because it would dead end into the interstate right away. So County Councilor Jeter has prepared the attached resolution, and there's also a map with the certificate of survey from the surveyor, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have none. Butch?
No, I have none. I think it
Dustin?
makes sense to
Seemed
vacate it.
pretty cut and dry, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we need a motion to approve.
I move the commission find that the right-of-way as shown on attachment 1 is not necessary for public purposes by reason of inconvenience, and that the expenditure of public funds to construct a road in this right-of-way is not justifiable, and adopt resolution number 2019-10.
I second that.
Donna, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all. Update on comprehensive plan, Environmental Planning Supervisor Mason Reuter.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mason Reuter, Environmental Planning Supervisor. Just thought I'd come before you this evening and give you an update on what's going on since we started the comprehensive plan update process September 4th of last year. Since that time, we've worked alongside Marvin Planning Consultants. We've had a few town hall meetings, had the public come in and go over some issues they might have or what they think the direction of the county should take. We've met with the various cities, Shinshin, Hayes, Victoria, Ellis, and all the unincorporated areas with our planning meetings. We had a countywide survey that actually obtained a lot of good information, one of the highest surveys he's actually had. And he's continuing to do research and update data for the comprehensive plan, which if you would like a copy of the draft to read for yourselves, I can email you a copy. It's fairly extensive right now, but it goes over everything from population, economic development drivers, soil types, where the proper areas would be to, I guess, pursue development. That would make sense. We've also met with the city of Hayes on the 3 mile zone, currently the extraterritorial jurisdiction that they're in charge of. Currently they're in charge of all the zoning aspects that happen inside that area. But with no current building and building code enforcement to their standards, it's kind of caused some issues. So we met with them to see if the current design and layout of the 3 mile zone is correct. And after meeting with them, we've come up with a possible plan to, I guess, make it better for the city of Hayes and county to work together to get both our plans in action and make it easier for them to enforce their rules possibly. And that's essentially it for the small update there. We've also looked at some other zoning regulation issues we're running into on some snags here and there that we're trying to figure out, pushing development to already incorporated areas to take the load off of designing new roads and access for roads, things of that nature, and then making sure they're attached to semi-public or public water supplies and whatnot, and not overload areas with all the private systems that they need. Are there any questions that you have for me or would like me to take back to Keith Marvin?
Butch, any questions?
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay, if you do, you can send me an email
Sure.
and I'll get him to him. He should be back for sure in October. If not in September, I'll find out for sure.
When do you anticipate the final plan being finished?
He said it should be done by the end of the year. The next chapter he's working on is the land use chapter, which is the whole meat and potatoes of what we're looking for. We're finally going to see exactly how we want to plan and structure what we want to do as a county to save money and encourage our economic drivers to keep going.
Dustin, any questions?
No, I had a chance here before the meeting to go over some of the plan with Mason and what they've come up with. So it definitely is extensive, and it'll be nice to have the amount of data that we have. Mason, did Grow Hayes get that information to these guys, these consultants, about our economic drivers in Ellis County?
I got the information that Grow Hayes had, and
Okay.
I passed it on to him.
Okay,
So
perfect.
he can add that into the data as well.
Yeah, there's some real interesting aspects of that I think are going to be some strategic moves that we're going to have to do in the future, as far as the capital leaving the county, things like that that I noticed on there, oil production, things like that. So it looks like it's really coming together and should be really beneficial to us. No other questions?
The only thing I had is I did have quite a few calls on people ask why we have a 3 mile zone if nobody's going to enforce it, and they all thought it should go away.
That's one of the things that we tackled with the city. Hopefully, we've come up with a plan that's both beneficial for both the city and county, and finally explain some of the things that our citizens need to know.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mason.
County Administrator Report, Philip Smith-Haynes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. County Administrator Philip Smith Haynes. I had 2 items that I wanted to cover with the commission this evening. Neither one of which is too earth-shattering, but the first is we have received a request from Access Public Transportation for letters of support. They annually apply to Kansas Department of Transportation under 2 separate sections of federal law. And so I've asked the chair to sign those letters, and we'll send those off to Access. The second one is in reviewing some older documents. We've run across the fact that we had designated some HIPAA privacy officers, and currently only one of those folks is still employed with the county. So I would actually like to ask the commission to make a motion to appoint Carrie McHugh and Jason Kennedy as our HIPAA privacy officers, and then we will just add this to the annual review of those offices that you see in January so we don't miss it again in the future.
That it?
That's all I have.
Someone like to make a motion to add Carrie and Jason?
You can start.
Go.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that Kerry McHugh and Jason Kennedy be appointed as HIPAA privacy officers.
I second that.
Donna, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. County Commission reports. Butch?
Mr. Chair, I don't have a report tonight.
Dustin?
Couple things to report on. I actually became a member of the Hayes Rotary Club today. It was my first meeting, and I'm excited to be a part of that organization. Kind of a funny story. When I was awarded a business award, they had said I was in Kiwanis Club when they awarded it to me, and I was like, I don't know who told you that, but I'm actually a Rotarian now, so I'm at least in one of these service organizations. This week I'll be leaving Wednesday morning for Leadership Kansas South Central, which will include Hutchinson and the State Fair, Wichita and some manufacturing, some downtown development panels, as well as a panel on in El Dorado at the maximum security prison. So we'll talk with the warden, and we actually get to hear a panel of prisoners, so day in the life of a prisoner. So should be really interesting. Unfortunately, it makes me miss one of my commitments, or a couple of my commitments this week, but they're kind of sticklers on making sure we show up to this thing. So sad I can't be at the thing on Wednesday, and then I will miss my meeting for juvenile services this week. So that's all I have.
Thank you. All I have is starting tomorrow afternoon around 1:30, Bill Ring and myself and multiple county employees will be setting up at the fairgrounds, and we'll start again at 6:30 on Wednesday morning for a full day. So looking forward to that. I've had a lot of great help out of Bill and Donetta and staff, and thank you all that have helped us get to this point. We have approximately 30 vendors, correct, Bill? Right? 30 vendors. In the past, we've had 2, and we have 155, I think, RSVP, I believe, and everything's coming together really nice. So thank you all that have helped, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. That's all I have. Anything else? Bill says no. Well, Donna, we'll adjourn at 5:13. I guess we drug it out as long as we could. Unless somebody from the crowd wants to talk, you might want to talk.